When it comes to theology, we spend so much time arguing about the what, right? The big conclusions, the doctrines we land on. But what if the how, the actual method we use to get there, is just as important, if not more so? That's what we're digging into today. Because the order of operations in theology, it isn't just some boring academic detail. It literally changes everything.
Okay, think about it like this. If you were going to build a house, would you start by picking out the perfect shade of blue for the bedroom and then try to build walls to match the paint? No way, right? Of course not. You start with the blueprint, the foundation, the core structure. Well, guess what? Building a solid theology works the exact same way. The order is absolutely everything.
And that really brings us to the single most important principle for this whole conversation. It's this: your theological method determines your theological outcome. Seriously, let that sink in. That one idea is the key that unlocks the two major approaches we're about to dive into.
All right, so to really get a handle on this, let's imagine a theologian's toolkit. Inside there are two essential tools, but maybe it's better to think of them as two different jobs. You've got the archaeologist, and you've got the curator. Each one plays a super specific and totally crucial role.
So first up, we have biblical theology. This is our archaeologist. Now, what's an archaeologist's job? It's to get their hands dirty, right? To carefully dig into the text, working from the ground up. They're obsessed with one key question. What did the original author actually mean in their specific time and place to their original audience? The whole goal is to uncover the meaning just as it was first intended, before we add anything else to it.
And then, after the dig, we have systematic theology. This is our museum curator. The curator's job is to take all those amazing individual artifacts that the archaeologists uncovered and arrange them into a beautiful, coherent exhibit. They organize all that data under these big thematic headings, like God, salvation, or the church, so that we can step back and see how it all connects and makes sense together.
So you can already see how these are two totally different jobs, right? Biblical theology is all about the dig. It's descriptive. It asks, what did the text mean back then? But systematic theology? That's about arranging the display. It's prescriptive. It asks, okay, now how does all of this fit together into a belief system for us right now? And this is so important. These two jobs are not, and I mean not, interchangeable.
Now let's be super clear. The point isn't that one of these tools is better than the other. We absolutely need both. The real danger, the thing that causes huge, huge problems, is when we use them in the wrong order. It's like trying to build a house from a reversed blueprint. It's a recipe for disaster. And this is exactly what's so dangerous about that reversed blueprint. When we start with our system, with our doctrines already built, and then we go hunting through the Bible for verses to prop it up, the text stops being a window we can look through to see the past. Instead, it just becomes a mirror reflecting our own ideas right back at us. You've probably heard this called proof texting, and it's where we make the text serve our conclusions instead of the other way around.
But hey, look what happens when we get the order right. Putting the text first, man, it guards us from trying to squeeze it into our neat little preset boxes. It forces us to do the hard, honest work of really investigating the text. It anchors our theology in the ancient world where it came from, not our modern assumptions. And maybe the most important thing of all, it cultivates a sense of theological humility. It keeps us teachable. Okay, so if the order is this critical, what does the right blueprint actually look like? Let's break it down. Let's lay out the disciplined, step-by-step sequence for doing theology really, really well.
Here it is. This is the proper flow. It all has to start with step 1, exegesis. That's the nitty-gritty, roll-up-your-sleeves work of analyzing the grammar, the context, the flow of the text itself. From there, we can move to step 2, biblical theology. This is where we trace themes and concepts as they unfold within the Bible's own world on its own terms, and only after that foundation is rock solid do we move to step 3, systematic theology, organizing everything we found into a coherent doctrine. And then, the final step, application, is where we can finally ask, okay, what does all this mean for our lives today? See how that works? Application comes last, not first.
This really brings us to our final and I think most important takeaway. It's all about understanding the proper relationship between our theological systems and the text itself. It's about making sure our theology knows its place.
This table sums up the partnership perfectly. You've got biblical theology on one side, that's the foundation. Its job is to uncover meaning from the text. On the other side, you've got systematic theology. That's the structure you build on top. Its job is to organize that meaning into a coherent system. Just look at the roles. One asks, what did the author mean? The other asks,
How does it all fit together? They're a team, for sure, but it's a team with a clear, non-negotiable order. Foundation first, structure second. Always.
And here's why this matters so much. At the end of the day, a text-first approach is really an act of intellectual honesty. It means that we, as the interpreters, are accountable to what the text actually says, not just to our favorite tradition or to some pre-built system we feel like we have to defend.
And so we're left with a final, pretty challenging question for each of us to think about. When we open up the Bible, is our theology a humble servant, helping us understand what's there, or has it become the master, forcing the text to serve our own conclusions? The answer to that question, well, it makes all the difference in the world.